Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the April 13th edition of Carolina Week.
We'll take a look at a controversial proposal to help fix the state's budget woes.
I'm Mackenzie Harris. I'll tell you about the sandwich generation, and it's not about what you pack for lunch.
In sports, a high school senior to a college freshman by January. We'll show you why that's becoming the norm for student athletes.
Weathercaster Brendan Kelly will tell us how much longer these cool mornings will be with us.
All that in a classic clogging club.
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Lots of students are starting to wind up the semester and getting ready for finals. Hello, I'm Bethany Tuggle.
And I'm Chris Neal. Our new student body president is prepping for exams and a whole lot more. She's transitioning into being our new SBP. It's her first role, it's her first week in office, and newly elected student body president Jasmine Jones is keeping busy. With 4 meetings a day, Jones says the biggest time commitment is spending at least 2 hours catching up on email. Former student body president J.J. Rayner is a helpful resource for Jones, who finds herself checking off her duties one by one. Jones says her load is heavy but manageable. One of her main goals is to promote the usefulness of student government.
University is not a university without us. You know what I mean? And that's just something that you have to understand. So we do have the power. It's just depending on how much you see we use it. And I think like that's something that hasn't truly been apparent.
Jones says one of her other big challenges will be educating students about the difference between tuition and student fees.
Some students don't have to worry about tuition at all. Graduates from the North Carolina School of Science and Math have been getting a free ride to UNC for the past 6 years. Now the governor is proposing they pay up. Stacey Wells has the story.
Junior John Doherty admits he doesn't pay much attention to talk of tuition increases. He doesn't even pay tuition. That's because he went to the North Carolina School of Science and Math, where graduates receive tuition grants to public state universities.
And it's like, well, I got all these expenses, but it's a lot nicer to know that, compared to a lot of people around me, I don't have to worry about my tuition.
Chancellor Gerald Borman says the residential public high school houses some of the state's brightest young minds.
And we wanted more of those students to stay in North Carolina, go to college in North Carolina, get their degrees in North Carolina, and go on and work in North Carolina if possible.
The tuition grant helps persuade science and math graduates to follow that path. After the General Assembly approved the tuition grant in 2003, the percentage of science and math graduates who chose North Carolina colleges increased from 55% to 80%. Now, Bev Perdue is recommending the grant be cut. House Minority Leader Paul Stam was the primary sponsor of a failed bill in 2007 that would have ended the tuition grant.
I just thought it was unfair. There are 940 valedictorians and salutatorians around the state who don't qualify for it.
And he says there's just simply not enough to go around. But Doherty says picking science and math students as recipients is a good way to identify those who will benefit North Carolina in the future. In Durham, I'm Stacey Wells, Carolina Week.
The tuition grant cut is part of the budget bill that the General Assembly will consider during this legislative session.
You don't have to major in business to learn skills that can help you succeed in the business world. The Kenan Flagler Business School is offering the UNC Business Essentials Certificate Program. Participants complete coursework online covering 6 modules, including finance, communication, accounting, marketing, and economics. Students can access the information not only through text, but through multimedia tools, including illustrations and interactive exercises. The cost of the program is $3,200. You have 4 months to complete the courses, and there are no prerequisites, so anyone can apply online. The Board of Trustees wants to be sure Carolina is a name heard all around the world, but it's going to cost us. The new Global Research Institute is projected to cost $20 million in startup costs alone. That means $8 million to fund 4 distinguished visiting scholar programs and $400,000 for graduate fellowships, undergrad research, and travel opportunities. The board hopes this venture will bring in more international students, faculty, and provide private funding from abroad.
UNC now has more loose scholars than Harvard does, a total of 31. That puts Carolina at number 1 on the list. Two UNC seniors and an alumna got the 2009 awards. The Luce Scholarship funds a year of living in Asia for recent graduates with no prior experience of the continent. The two seniors don't have their specific assignments yet, but already have some goals in mind.
I'd love to work for an NGO or a professor or maybe a company that's doing work on climate change in China.
I'm really interested in how environmental sustainability issues are framed as public health issues and how you can educate populations about how the environment affects their health.
With 3 of this year's 18 awards going to Carolina people, that gives UNC 17% of the nation's newest Luce scholarships.
Growing up, most people's parents take care of them.
Now it's becoming much more common for that relationship to reverse as our parents age. More in a moment.
Like I said earlier, if they want to win these...
Come on.
And it's a block!
What kind of kick was that? You've got to be kidding me!
Hey, hot shot. Sounds like you know a lot about the game.
You should put that to use. Come on, let's go take a jog.
There are plenty of ways that you can volunteer in your community.
Just figure out what you like to do and pass it on to others.
And you know what? You can have a lot of fun doing it, too.
Pick those knees up. Keep going. Pick those legs up. Let's go. All right, now. Show them how to kick that ball.
To find out ways you can volunteer in your community, log on to teensvolunteer.org.
Okay, Ben, here we go, buddy. That was great, Ben. This time, just try to kick the ball.
Do what you like to do. Volunteer.
Do you know where your change goes when you give it to panhandlers? The Real Change from Spare Change Initiative takes the money you give away and uses it to make a real change for the homeless population. So the next time you want to get rid of that extra weight in your pocket, find a can in any local establishment and help end homelessness in Chapel Hill.
Caring for kids is difficult enough. Caring for aging parents on top of that can be twice as hard. Mackenzie Harris joins us from the newsroom. And Mackenzie, is this type of situation becoming more and more common?
Chris, it's called the sandwich generation. One slice of bread is the kids and the other is their parents, and they're both depending on the generation stuck in the middle.
Jane Threlkill is a UNC professor, a mom, and a daughter of recently dependent parents.
My dad wasn't getting his medication, and she was getting too much of her medication, and it was just a kind of domestic health meltdown.
And being the child living closest to her parents, she was responsible for their safety.
We just had to figure out something very fast. And I didn't know what to do, and I really didn't know who to turn to.
Ann Wisnett helps women like Jane, holding workshops through the Association of Women and Faculty Professionals.
So we felt that we could work to connect women with resources that were available in the community, because sometimes you feel that you don't learn about those resources until a crisis develops.
Through these resources and learning to balance responsibilities, Threlkill has made it work.
It's been a bit of a challenge to figure out how to be helpful, respectful of their needs and limitations, while setting up boundaries.
Wisnett says this problem falls more heavily on female professionals.
I'm not sure that things have balanced out at home quite as much as maybe they have, even if the income earning has balanced out, the other tasks I think do still fall more heavily on women.
Threlkill thinks it's good for her daughters to see the spectrum of life.
You can kind of forget, ooh, not everyone is 18 to 22 years old and, well scrubbed and, with it.
Threlkill says even though aging can be uncomfortable, it's best to plan ahead.
Okay, Mackenzie, what are some things people can do to prepare for dependent parents?
Chris, people in this position can purchase long-term care insurance. It can provide $100 a day for someone in an assisted living facility.
Okay, thanks, Mackenzie. Many of us could face those types of decisions early in our professional careers.
The digital age has brought many new technologies along with new ways to track those items if they go missing. People have started using networking sites such as Facebook and MySpace, as well as online photo sites like Flickr to match people to their gear. Additionally, online tracking sites have begun popping up like Boomerang It and StuffBack. These sites work by having owners place stickers on their valuables that contain a phone number and serial number with instructions about returning the lost items with promises of a reward. It's new, it's on the internet, and it's the new rage. We all know about the popularity of Facebook and its #1 competitor, MySpace, and now more and more people are signing up for Twitter. Right now, Twitter is #3 when it comes to social networking websites. It's a way to stay connected with people you know by answering one simple question: what are you doing? Now everyone who uses Twitter can know what you're doing at any given time, like giving a campus tour or eating with a friend.
Federal and state income taxes are due this Wednesday, and if you've waited until the last minute to file your taxes, the IRS provides these tips. You can file your taxes online at irs.gov or file traditionally through the mail. Make sure you double check all spellings and figures, especially Social Security numbers. Don't forget to sign and date your return and enclose, but do not attach your check or money order to your 1040 form. To get your refund faster, choose the direct deposit option, but be sure you correctly enter your bank account number. And remember, if you absolutely can't turn your taxes in by Wednesday, file for an extension. And tax time always seems to be a gloomy period of the year, kind of like the weather we had this morning.
That's right, and we have Brandon Kelly here to tell us if that's going to be sticking around.
Well, we should see some gloomy weather for the next couple of days, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel, so just wait for that. Today, even despite the gloomy temperatures and gloomy cloud cover, some students found it good enough for some outdoor acrobatics. Coming up, I'll let you know when our temperatures and our weather could get really nice.
Mrs. Abruzzo, I'm Ed McMahon, and we're signing up people for...
Yes,
yes, I am. Yeah. Miss Murphy, Ed McMahon. We're starting up... No.
Dreams really do come true. Hombre, dinero.
No.
Con cámaras.
Yes, Ed
con
McMahon,
cámaras.
see.
Ed McMahon.
Yes, Ed McMahon. We're having our first
Ed
ever...
McMahon.
Yes. Tuesday night at the high school. We're starting up the neighborhood watch in this area, and here's all the information.
Stevie, get down here, please.
No, it's just...
5, 6, 7, 8.
No tango dinero. Neighborhood watch. We're having this neighborhood watch, the first one. Right. I'll come back.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Start a neighborhood watch. It's just one of the many ways you can help make America stronger. To find out how, call or log on for this free guide.
Hey, kid, what's shaking? Besides me.
Dad, there's something wrong with the fridge.
What? Ooh, a snack.
Got energy hogs in your house? Now you have the power to do something about them. Log on to energyhog.org. Because nobody likes an energy hog.
Hey, they got Charlie. Who cares?
Welcome back to Carolina Week. Hope you enjoyed the beautiful weather we had this past Easter weekend. Unfortunately, our weather has kind of taken a turn for the worst here today. We saw cloud cover, a few showers across the area, and also cooler temperatures. Despite those cooler temperatures, we should be seeing a warm up tomorrow before we have another cool down on Wednesday. And there is a light at the end of the tunnel, as we will see temperatures warming back up for a nice weekend on the way. If we take a look at our U.S. satellite and radar, you'll notice that the country looks pretty busy as far as weather goes. The western half of the country is really just dealing with some cloud cover, and we're mostly concerned with this large area of precipitation across the southeast, stretching back to the Midwest. Now, all of this precipitation is associated with a low pressure system moving off to the east. And it looks right now that most of the rain is to our south and to our west. But if we take a look closer to home, you can see that those showers have started to move into our area. Now, most of the rain that we're going to get with this system will occur overnight tonight and this evening, and also Tuesday morning. But that really is all we should have to worry about with this system is rain showers. Some areas to our south and to our east could see some thunderstorms, but we shouldn't have to deal with those at least for tonight. Now let's take a look at the current surface map to see what's going on. Here's that low pressure system associated with all that rain. Now this warm front is going to lift through our area overnight tonight, giving us those rain showers and also warming up our temperatures a good bit for tomorrow. Now this cold front is going to pass through the southeast, and that's going to give areas to our south and to our east some thunderstorms, but like I mentioned before, that should stay to our south, so we shouldn't have to worry about any thunderstorms with that. As we go on into Tuesday, that low pressure system, a second low develops and moves offshore, taking the cold front and the warm front with it. Now this initial low kind of sticks around a little bit, and that's what's going to give us a continued chance of showers and perhaps even a thunderstorm on Tuesday. As we go into Wednesday, that low really moves offshore, and we should see it into the rain by Wednesday afternoon, but that initial low kind of sticks around again, and the counterclockwise rotation around that low is going to bring us those northerly winds, and that's why our temperatures are going to be cooler on Wednesday. We do have high pressure sitting over the Gulf though, so that's going to lift up beginning on Thursday, and so we should have warmer, sunnier skies for this weekend. Now if you're headed out tonight, it's not the best night to be taking a stroll on Franklin Street. We will see rain showers likely through most of the night. Lows getting down to the lower 50s. Winds will be out of the east at 7 to 9 miles per hour. So if you do have to go out, make sure you take a rain jacket or an umbrella with you to stay dry. You're going to want to keep that umbrella with you tomorrow, as we will see a chance of rain showers again. Also a chance of a thunderstorm. Calm winds, highs getting a good bit warmer up into the upper 60s. So here's our 4-day forecast. We'll see a chance of rain on Tuesday and Wednesday, with most of that rain coming overnight tonight and then early on Tuesday. Wednesday we'll just see a 20% chance of rain. And Thursday and Friday we get those rain chances out of here and we see sunny skies. And like I said, those temperatures are all over the place, with highs in the upper 60s on Tuesday, getting down to the upper 50s Wednesday, then back to the upper 50s, or upper 60s, excuse me, on Friday. So if we can just make it through these couple not so good days, I think we'll be rewarded with a pretty good weekend.
Yeah, maybe it'll actually start feeling like spring.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right,
Thanks so much, Brandon.
Thank you.
Developers have dropped the proposal for a hotel in Southern Village. Many residents wanted to keep Southern Village the way it is. They said putting up a hotel would hurt the view of the neighborhood and complicate parking. But some business owners regret what they see as a lost opportunity.
So it would just be nice to have a little more business and not be so reliant on the residents, although we appreciate their business.
The community decided that instead of building a hotel, it will start a marketing campaign to attract customers to the current stores. Now we have sportscaster Kate Howard.
And Kate, basketball season's over. We're national champs, but the Tar Heel sports isn't done just yet.
That's right. The Heels in uniform are always a threat. Coming up in sports, the softball team is on an impressive winning streak. The Heels had only one word to say at the end of the weekend: wahoo!
Hey, there are a lot of ways we can help our community. Spending our money in Orange County, whether it's filling up the car or shopping at local businesses, helps maintain our roads, improves our children's schools, and creates jobs. Spending your money locally helps us all in a big way. So remember, shop Orange first.
Okay, guys, time for takeoff. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go! Wow! Whoa, look at that! Is that Jupiter?
Hey kids, it's time to go to the planetarium.
Moorhead Planetarium, where dreams become reality.
These kids are in trouble. They're not getting high on drugs or stealing. If they were, you'd do something about it right now. But why is it almost half of all parents who suspect their child has a problem learning wait a year or more before getting help? Why? Kids with learning disabilities are smart. They just learn differently. Call now. The sooner you get help, the better the chance your kid has.
Most of us graduated from high school in June and had one last glorious summer before coming to college. Carolina Week's Kyle Lang tells us about one student athlete who's spending his graduation time back in school.
Levi Michael is not your average college student. In fact, he shouldn't even be a college student. That's because he graduated high school a semester early to play baseball for the University of North Carolina.
I took my final exam Friday, the last day I was there. And that weekend I moved up, got everything situated, and Monday I was in college, First class, 8 o'clock.
Such a drastic transition is understandably difficult for a 17-year-old, but Michael says it hasn't been that bad, and his teammates are a big reason why.
The team's got great camaraderie. Everybody's, jokes around, has a good time. Guys are easy to get along with, and it definitely helped in the transition.
But Michael's transition to college life isn't the only thing going well. His transition on the ball field is going equally as well, surpassing everyone's expectations, including his head coach, Mike Fox.
There are not many high school seniors that can do what this boy's doing. It has been absolutely mind-boggling to me how easy the transition's been for him.
But not everything is as easy as it seems.
I get a lot more nervous here because it's on so much, a bigger scale. High school, you kind of had a comfort zone, you knew what you was doing, and here you just another player out there.
And while Michael is far from just any other player, to him, he's just enjoying his time.
We're living the dream. Every day we get to, lace up our spikes, go out on the field, got us a brand new stadium. You couldn't ask for more.
And the same can be said about Michael himself. In Chapel Hill, I'm Kyle Lang, Carolina Week.
On Wednesday's edition of Carolina Week, we'll continue our coverage of athletes' early enrollment and take a look at one special 17-year-old softball player. The newly crowned national champs will have a key cog back next season. Power forward Ed Davis announced Monday he'll return for his sophomore season in Chapel Hill. Davis was the Tar Heels' leading shot blocker and averaged nearly 7 points and 7 rebounds in limited action. Davis is Carolina's top NBA prospect for his length and rim-rocking abilities. Davis said he loves being a student at Carolina and playing for Roy Williams. Davis is expected to be the major offense force in the paint after the loss of four-time All-American Tyler Hansbrough. Now, feast your eyes on the nation's #1 recruiting class in men's basketball. The #3 ranked player in the 2009 class, John Henson, is a 6'10" power forward described as being able to play every position on the floor. Highly touted guard Dexter Strickland joins him, along with Tennessee's 2009 Mr. Basketball guard Leslie McDonald. And check out the sharpshooting twin forwards, David and Travis Ware. We can't wait. And the women's basketball team also boasts a highly rated recruiting class, 2nd in the nation. Guard Tiara Ruffin-Pratt is a top 10 recruit who has big expectations and heads the list of our incoming freshman class. Forward Krista Gross, center Waltia Roll, center Sierra Warren, and forward Nyree Williams round out the group. All are in the nation's top 100, and one of those players will have to replace a Tar Heel great. That player is Rashonda McCants, who's on her way to the WNBA. Selected 15th in the draft, McCants will be donning a Minnesota Lynx jersey next year and will join former Carolina player LaToya Pringle. McCants averaged 14.5 points, shot 45% from the field, and averaged 6.5 rebounds in her senior year with the Heels. The softball team played a doubleheader against Virginia Saturday, and the Heels pitching rendered the UVA offense MIA. Danielle Spalding took the mound for the Tar Heels in Game 1, and the Cavalier hitters couldn't touch her. This Allie Blake bomb to right center gave UNC a 7-1 lead in the 5th, and after Blake, Stephanie Murad made it a back-to-back attack. Spalding surrendered this Nicole Corin homer in the 7th and then got to Stephanie Coates on 3 pitches to end the game. Spalding struck out an astounding 18 Cavalier hitters, and UNC won 8-3. In Game 2, Allie Blake knocked in her 3rd and 4th runs of the series with this gunshot of a double and gave Carolina a 2-0 first-inning lead. Stephanie Murad continued her role as a pinch-hitting Cavalier killer with this 2-run single in the 3rd, and this nifty play by Brittany Robinson shows the kind of stingy defense the Tar Heels played all day behind hurler Lisa Norris. Norris pitched a complete game shutout and allowed only 3 hits while striking out 11. UNC won Game 2 6-0 to sweep the series. The Tar Heel track and field team hosted the Joe Hilton UNC Invitational, and Gabby Joya starts off with a strong throw in the javelin, recording a score of 42.09. Ashley Hill jumps to victory, finishing at 5.52 meters, and on the men's side, Mateo Sosa vaulted himself into 6th place as he goes up and over with this landing. The Heels will head to Miami at the end of the week for ACC Outdoor Championships. The Lady Tar Heel tennis team took on Georgia Tech on Friday in the second-to-last match of the season, and the Tar Heel duo of Snaz Morand and Sophie Grabinski were the sole bright spot for Carolina in doubles play, winning their match 8-6. Katrina Sang gave defending national singles championship Amanda McDowell a fit early with shots like this one, but ultimately fell short 6-3, 6-0. Sanaz Moran provided a lift for the Heels in the #1 spot, working her opponent to a decisive 6-1 victory, but in the end, the higher-ranked Yellow Jackets stung the Heels 5-2. And the dance and cheer teams came back from National Cheerleading Association competition in Daytona, Florida, and the dance team is ACC champs and 5th in the nation, and the all-girl cheerleading team is 9th in the nation.
All right, well,
Wow,
from the
that's
basketball court to the dance floor to the softball, baseball fields, the Tar Heels are winning. It's good to hear that. Thank you, Kate.
That's right. Thanks so much, Case. Dancing programs on TV, such as Dancing with the Stars, are leading to renewed interest in the art form.
And a resurgence in a special club here in our area. The primary requirement to join, fast feet.
Is bad air quality ruining your day? Check the Outdoor Air Quality Index before leaving home to avoid the aggravations of smog. For more information about asthma and air quality, check online or call your local health department.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
When it comes to babies, appearances can be deceiving. Look at this brainwave. Very active. And this one, not doing much. You make the difference by reading, singing, and talking from birth. Studies prove it. An early start. Now that's smart.
Michael Flatley is famous for his role with Riverdance, the Irish dance troupe.
We might have the next Michael Flatley right here in the Triangle area, heading up a group of talented tappers at NC State.
Jennifer Carpenter has our report.
Clogging is making a comeback.
Up until a couple years ago, not many people knew what clogging was, and now it's become more and more noticed.
Meet the Wolfpack Cloggers, one of only 2 college clogging teams in the state that compete on the international level.
We get recognized, one, not only for how we dance, but because we're a collegiate team.
Students at North Carolina State University have learned to balance schoolwork and footwork, taking this old dance to a new level.
A lot of groups don't do real hip-hop in their dances. And that's one thing that I've been wanting to really do.
It's all part of the PAC's plan to bring contemporary clogging up to speed.
We're trying to renovate our old style and our old traditions and trying to rebirth this team.
10 years ago, the Wolfpack Cloggers was the premier young adult team in the nation. This generation hopes to claim a similar title, To the Sounds of Akon.
Pretty much your young adult, which are your college-age kids, yes, are kind of reinventing it a little bit.
This weekend, the PAC danced at the Appalachian Pride Clogging Challenge.
These are the Wolfpack Cloggers.
It was their chance to qualify for the World Championship in the fall.
Probably the most rewarding thing was seeing on a score sheet that the PAC is back, because that was my goal coming into NC State, to bring this, the university's clogging team back up to what it once was and to really compete.
We're doing the whole Phoenix idea, coming up out of the ashes, and we're really trying to progress and get to where we were.
Clogging might never be the same. In Lexington, I'm Jennifer Carpenter, Carolina Week.
You know, Bethany, before I became a news anchor, I actually used to do a little clog dancing in my younger days.
I'm not so sure I believe that.
Okay, I'm just kidding. But that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks so much for watching. Good night.